about that.
Talked about wiping her butthole with a rose petal and then putting it in the jar. I mean, I can
Well,
go much lower.
that's just disgusting. Mine, they say I'm misogynistic. I'm misogynistic. I don't like women. Because I
Yeah,
asked
you
Harry,
do. No, that was because you dropped the C bomb, but I didn't think that was
oh,
a
is
big deal.
that why?
You've never
Oh,
been misogynistic to me. Get over yourself. I mean, come on.
seriously.
Last night on
It's the
Vanderpump
woke
Rules,
mob calling the woke mob.
last night
Yes.
on Vanderpump Rules, they have a see you next Tuesday night. They have a cunt night. Like, give me a break. Nobody cares about that word. In every other country but ours, people are very stuffy here. We're from the Puritans.
Correct. All the Aussies and the Brits were cheering me on. They're like, our favorite word. I'm like, thank you,
You're
my
like,
people.
everyone says bloody cunt everywhere you go and calls me.
I thought I was misogynistic for asking that for Harry. But so yeah, I mean, I get Tom's point. Scheana saying, your friend committed suicide and how are you? Or his friend passed away. I mean, I don't even know if it was suicide. And then is talking about a podcast. Listen, I'm Tom. Everyone's talking about you. So shenanigans, let it make a few dollars. You know what I mean? Let it make a few dollars. Good as gold is selling, but let the girl make a few dollars on the side. I didn't think it was. I mean, I get her. Also, as I always say, I didn't fucking say it. So, I mean, when Nema is saying all this, is she not? She's not saying much. I mean, she has said a lot, but yeah, I'm kind of team Scheana on this one. But he does say the LVP. He thought of suicide, and she is very concerned.
I always think when people say that you have to believe them. I mean, a lot of people had thoughts on that moment, certainly online. Was Tom using that as sympathy? Does he know how to work LVP? He obviously knows that's a trigger point for her. They had made this promise. I mean, a lot of people felt like that could potentially have been a very manipulative moment. I think that's a dangerous slope for me. You know what I mean? I think if somebody says that they were that low, and to be honest, I can imagine because I mean, when you think about 2023, Scandival was like the pop culture moment of 2023. That and probably Britney Spears' memoir. So it's
If
like,
you think about it, like
that's a huge
Tom,
pressure. Yeah.
Erica, I don't know. My friend Rachel, you could tell when you have the entire world against you and you still live, I don't know. Good for Tom. But I agree with you. I didn't really take it. Look, if Tom is really a narcissist, I mean, do narcissists off themselves? I don't think, I just don't know enough about it. We'll have to call, but Tom is really into himself. But I don't know. I think I didn't really take that as a let me manipulate LVP moment, but I absolutely
I did not.
see, like, I'm not a Tom apologist. I'm a nobody apologist. So I see how people are thinking but I just loved this scene between them because they have such history. And Tom ain't afraid of you, LVP. Like, he's going to just be like, Lisa, come on. And I think I just thought Lisa was sitting there being like, this is TV gold. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I can't watch without breaking the fourth wall in my mind and thinking like producer LVP. She could be over there fighting with Kyle and all these other people. Oh, you know what I did think? And not to
Yeah.
interrupt you,
Yeah.
this
Please.
is actually what went through my mind. I even wrote this down. I understand it. There are people that are not in my life that are so dead to me that no matter what happened to them, I wouldn't reach out. But the fact that Lisa lost her brother to suicide and Kyle lost Lorraine to suicide, her best friend, and this hasn't really brought LVP to reach out to Kyle. This friendship is completely done. I mean, I know that it's done, but to me, it's like, like when something happens in life, like I hate you, but your mother died, your son died. When it's something big and you have history, sometimes, now I don't really, but sometimes that's when you say, what is it with this person? Let's come back into each other's lives, right? And so I really truly thought this went through my mind of like, because Lisa's talking about her brother. I think we kind of just swept that under the rug, like during RHOBH. Remember, like, I don't know, it wasn't like this kind of drew the point home to me, like, oh my God, yeah, that's right. Like I knew it, but I think I swept it under the rug with Rinna and everything else going on in Beverly Hills. And I'm like, yeah, it's a big fucking deal. And it's kind of like then
Oh,
Lorraine is a big deal. And like, if that doesn't cause these two to come back together, stick a fork in it. This friendship is over. Go on.
Great points. Great points. A couple of other things, I wanted to just ask you about. So I did think there was an overwhelming theme of sobriety, right? We hear about Tom Schwartz's brother. We Lala discusses, Tom Schwartz is now exploring sober curious. There's California sober, which is you don't drink alcohol, but you still smoke weed. I'm with Lala Kent and Elton John because Demi Lovato is apparently California sober. Lala and Elton say, no, that's not how it works. And if anybody that knows anyone in a program will tell you that's not, no. Of course, if you need antidepressants, yes, yes, like that is like, yes. But I mean, you do not need marijuana to live, unless of course you have cancer. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But like they're not using it as because I have cancer and a terminal illness. So anyhow, I appreciated Lala being like, that's not sober for me, but you do you if you're sober curious. But it was an ongoing theme. And my husband and I were watching and we were discussing, is this show still viable? Because it started out as they were all bartenders, for LVP, drinking, partying. They clearly have all cheated on their partners and vice versa. Is this show viable? As it seems as though they are becoming like all of us in our 40s. You just don't drink as much anymore. You don't party. You want to be home with your kids. Is this show viable as a sober, curious show?
These are some very good questions. Now, a couple of things that you have brought up here that require some responding to. First of all, hello, sir. I mean, I find it so funny that they choose sir for this establishment. We haven't seen sir in like a decade at this point, it seems. Like, oh yeah, that's how the show started. I know the drone is flying into Tom Tom and the never to be open something about her, but nice to see a little sir action. Guys, when you come to LA and you go there in person, it ain't that big. This is also a fucking walking billboard for Vanderpump because she's doing some sir. Now we're at Pump, which would still be open according to her for the rent. Now we're talking about a cast trip for her new thing in Tahoe. And we have a Vanderpump Dogs. I mean, Lisa Vanderpump is like darling. Now I know that I took 10,000 less this season and I'm only making $1 million, but you promised me product placement and we will do 4 restaurants and 4 stops this episode. That's what I thought. But Lala was on this show. She went viral. Google Lala Kent behind the velvet rope. I mean, it was in like Billboard magazine, Rolling Stone. It was viral because she did not have pleasant message for Miss Demi Lovato when Lala was behind the velvet rope. She had a few words for Miss Lovato, and it went viral in every country. Google it. I it's funny because you and I were talking about sober curious on this very show a few weeks ago. I'm sober curious myself. Now I don't want to stop drinking. I had 2 martinis last night at the Thompson Hotel in Hollywood, but I am sober curious. Like it does.
What? When?
What? When am I sober curious? Well, the nights that I'm home, I don't drink, and I do enjoy not drinking.
And that's like now 1 night a week, 2 night a week, 2 nights a week, honey. That is sober curious. Oh my
Darn.
God. Look, I'm going to tell you the biggest lie